Xenoblade spends 30 hours making you feel small and vulnerable in a big place. So what happens when the game switches things up and lets you hop in the cockpit of a 50-foot robot and wreck stuff? Cool stuff, obviously. I mean, it's a giant robot. What were you expecting? I'm Lee, welcome to Button Bash.
We can win if we go all out.
We should weaken them just
Watch
to be
it burn.
safe.
Good idea. I'll cut them down to size.
Xenoblade Chronicles X may have a giant robot on the front of the box, but it sure takes its sweet time before you're handed the keys to one on your own. The transforming robots, called Skells, which I guess is short for exoskeleton, are the human race's greatest war asset on the alien planet Mira, and also its rarest resource. This rarity is the reason you've got to jump through so many hoops in order to get one, despite the fact that by the time you have to take the test, you're obviously the most competent person on the planet.
Tatsu tastes like poop and poison. Tatsu tastes like poison poop.
Especially next to that guy. Way to sell yourself, buddy. I wondered whether the sensation of vulnerability in a hostile environment would be diminished once you got your Skell, but to the developer's credit, the robot actually ratchets up the tension. Despite your greatly improved arsenal and increased survivability, there's no getting past the fact that you're still just a man in a can, and the truly immense megafauna that can be found roaming the vast landscape of Mira are still able to dwarf you. Not only that, they're perfectly capable of tearing your mech warrior to pieces, leaving you to foot the costly repair bill. The only things trivialized by the robot are trivial matters, low-level creatures that would otherwise be a pain to contend with, and traversable spaces that the player has already mastered. Meanwhile, the player is given a couple of new types of locomotion to get to grips with, and new combat moves tied to the dozens of guns, rocket launchers, and laser swords you can equip. Keeping your Skell in working condition isn't as straightforward as one would hope, and the game really drops the ball when it comes to explaining anything, really. You'd think that the mandatory robot license test would train you in the use and maintenance of your robo-vehicle, but it's actually a series of quests performed for each of the human military factions designed to prove you understand their factional function. Imagine if your driving test consisted of having to spend a week working for each branch of government, and after a couple of months of building roads and handing out speeding tickets, you were abruptly dumped in the cockpit of a fighter plane and told to drive it home. It's tedious, busy work, and considering the fact that there's actually a lot to learn about piloting a giant robot warrior, it's a baffling design decision to make you earn your robot without teaching you what any of the buttons do. But ultimately, the Skells are a neat point of difference for Xenoblade, reinforcing the coolest part of the game and giving the adventure a shot in the arm right as your attention might start to lag. Xenoblade Chronicles X might be the only legitimate RPG available on the Wii U, but damn if it isn't a good one. If you own Nintendo's Mario Kart machine and you're seeking a meaty adventure in a beautiful alien place, Xenoblade is a must-have. Just don't fail your robot driving exam, or they'll make you take the test again.
Hope I didn't get in the way.
Hey ya! Hey ya! Hey ya! Ya!